I'm Rob Medved, CEO of Cannella Media, and I'm here today with my business partner, Bill Raymond in Cannella Media. And we're on the Let's Make Millions podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Bill's journey through stuttering. He's a stutterer. He's a successful businessman, husband, father, surfer, and as he says in his IG handle, sometimes he stutters. We're going to talk about all things stuttering in business, so stay tuned.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it.
Good morning, Bill Raymond.
What's up, Rob?
I'm Rob Medved. I'm CEO of Cannella Media, and Bill Raymond is my managing partner here.
Yep, EVP managing partner.
Yeah, and we're here in beautiful Santa Monica. It's not too nice today, though. It's kind of overcast.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's a bit hazy out.
But we're in the You're on Mute podcast studio.
Long time coming. We've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah, we launched this podcast today. Let's Make Millions. It was the kind of the brainchild that came out of every year we have a Cannella Media Revenue Summit. And for the past few years, we've been down at the Fairmont, rent the bungalows, clear out the space, clear out our heads, get out of the office. We bring in anywhere from a dozen to 20 people that run the different lines of business for us. We're in direct-to-consumer marketing, and we try and come up with the next big idea, and there is no governor. Like whatever idea, there's been some crazy ideas that have come out of that.
All different ones.
Yeah, but this was one of them. Let's do a podcast. Let's share with the direct-to-consumer community, marketers, entrepreneurs, whatever, life lessons. We're going to have guests on here that have, made hundreds of millions of dollars marketing products on television, at retail. We'll talk about production, digital, video, all of it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be cool. We're going to be able to get in their minds and get into the personal side of it as well.
Yeah. And
see, it's not always good. But that's why when it does work, it makes it that much better.
Yeah. And we're going to give a lot away, right? This is all about hey, there are no secrets, right? There's no threat to the rest, to us, with everybody knowing how to be a good marketer and how to run a good media campaign. I think that in the end, it's only going to serve us better because we have a large organization. Our clients are really big, and we're secure in what we do now.
For sure.
But it would be good to open the doors and let some information out and kind of educate the world from our standpoint.
Yeah, and we in our business, there's a lot of personalities, and it's going to come off. It's going to be fun.
For sure.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So as part of this podcast series, we're going to start with you.
First one.
And today is specifically about your journey through stuttering. You stutter.
I do stutter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do.
Your IG handle, which I love, is, and I'm going to botch this probably, but it's like dad, husband, father, surfer. You do a lot of surfing.
I do.
And sometimes I stutter, and sometimes stutterer. ...
Yeah. It's part of who I am, and I've dealt with it my entire life, and I will continue to, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. And that's
I
what
own
this is
it.
about. Yeah. And it's something that you've had to struggle with, and a hurdle you've had to get over. And business, it's getting through fear. It's getting over yourself. It's getting to the point where you're not afraid to take chances. You're not afraid of failure. And I think, your journey through stuttering and living life as a stutterer is a prime example of that.
Yeah. And it's nuts. When I really just look at it and think back and think of where I am today and where we are today, it's pretty remarkable that I picked the job that I'm in today, and what I do on a daily basis is I talk to people and I communicate to people, and I stutter.
Yeah. And we're doing a podcast, right? You embraced it. You're like,
And I
"Hey,
stutter."
Let's get a bunch of people in here and talk to them about their journey and direct to consumer marketing and all these stories and everything. And I'm proud of you. Like, yeah, and I stutter, and I'm going to be on a podcast stuttering. Yeah.
And
I think I just stuttered right there. It's like,
Bill, no more podcasts
it's
is
funny.
wrong.
There is something, I got to Google it, but there's an actor that learned how to stutter for a role and then couldn't shake it for a while. Like it's crazy. He kind of rewired his brain, and I think it's a genetic thing, but it's an interesting.
You're so right. So if I'm watching something, or if I'm seeing something on TV or on YouTube, or if I hear someone stuttering, or even if I'm around someone that stutters, like there's someone on our team that I know stutters, and when they stutter, I feel bad for them, and then it makes me think through my head about stuttering, and it's weird.
So I've known you for over 20 years, and I don't even think about it anymore, really. Like, because it's part of who you are and your character, and it's interesting for me. But you think about this every minute of you think about it when you wake up. Like, does it?
I don't think about it when I wake up anymore, unless I have like I won't lie to you. Today, I woke up around I wake up early anyways, but I woke up somewhere at 5, and I thought, oh, we're taping today. And I was excited, but also nervous.
Yeah.
And but that's when I thought about it. I'm like, ooh, okay. I thought about, well, I could stutter today. I may stutter. I may not stutter. Those are the times. But I don't when I wake up now, I don't think about it like I did. Mm-hmm. But throughout the day, if I have a call, when I get on the call, I don't really think about it much. Unless it happens to me, and when it happens to me, it's hard for me to get my mind off of it. Or if I'm talking to someone new that doesn't know me, that's when I'm more self-conscious about it because they don't know me. To your point earlier, there was a story actually that you have told that I remember. The old president of our company, Tony, gave you some good advice when you went into some pitches with him. Yeah, so Tony, he knew how much it bothered me, and I think, he wanted me to be probably a stronger pitch person to help him out. And, he said once, it was I think right when we were sitting at the table and they were about to come in, and he said, listen, he's like, Bill, why don't you just own it? Just when you do your intro, just say, by the way, I stutter, so don't be alarmed. Did that help? It did. It was the first time where I've ever just said... Did you say it and then you didn't stutter for the whole pitch? I stuttered a couple times, but not a lot. But I think it worked because it let me be who I am, and it let the cat out of the bag. And I'd be lying to say that of course those people in the room had... empathy. For me, because they go, God, this poor soul. It's business, part of business, and breaking down those walls of letting people understand who you are and getting a personal relationship is huge, right? Yeah. So that did that. So do you still do that? I don't think I haven't in a while. Yeah. I will say this, as well as through the last 3 years, whatever it's long been since we worked from home and we had the pandemic and we were doing Zoom, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, as our calendar is from when we wake up in the morning until whatever, we're in front of the camera. I think that really helped me become a better speaker and become a lot more comfortable talking in front of people. Yeah. And I'm not sure about you, but when I have it on the screen, I show myself. What do you mean? You're looking at yourself? Well, because you can get rid of yourself. Mm-hmm. I have myself up there. Oh, yeah, I have myself up there too, yeah. I just like to do it because then I see myself and I see how I'm coming off. I don't know if that's right or wrong, or maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But I like to see myself on there because then I can see, me. And so through this process, I think it's really helped me become a better speaker
Yeah.
and more comfortable.
And you stutter. I notice that you stutter when I do notice that you stutter, it's when you get angry or animated. Like everybody manages differently. You and I, it's a business. We run a business. There's highs and lows and a lot of tension, and we get into it sometimes. I mean, that's part of a good partnership is like we can, you can really get into it. You get animated. It's those places where I know it's getting rough when you really start stuttering to get a point out or to,
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think too, it's I almost think my brain goes too fast for myself.
Yeah.
And I can't get it out.
Interesting.
So I like in some ways, like the way that I have made myself feel better about myself through all this is I'll think things like, well, I'm just smarter than everyone else, and my brain can't catch up with that.
Yeah.
And my thoughts don't come out right.
Yeah.
So I think there's times where if it's like just very stressful, or if there's like too many things coming at me at one time, that's when my brain kind of freezes and it doesn't allow my words to come out the way that I want.
Yeah, I mean,
them to be.
it's a struggle.
Oh, for sure. It's a
Because
real struggle.
it's hard just not having a speech impediment and getting in front of people and pitching and asking for business or, being on set and or whatever it may be. Without it, I can't imagine what it's like with it.
Well, and it's not even just in business. It's like I'll be at home on the couch with my wife, and my wife will say, "Call so and so," or "Call this restaurant," and those are the weird things that I get hung up on. Is I'll try and say something and it won't come out, and my wife will look at me and she's like, "What the F is wrong with you?" And my wife, like she can be tough, like she's sweet, but. Like she'll say like
Just bust your balls.
Yeah, she's like, what? But it's like those little things, and then my kids even notice it now, but they don't make fun of me by any means.
Yeah.
But we do have fun with it too. But then like there are times where I even notice my kids starting to stutter a little bit. Like one of them does a little bit.
It's a genetic thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like so, it's one, it's genetic. Two, you can't cure it. You can work to get better and to relieve some of the anxieties that, that cause the stuttering. But it's a genetic piece.
Yeah. And I think there's folks I think that either they have it really bad and they can't even get like through it. Like, but.
By the way, fact check me on the genetic piece.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I think I'm right on that. But
I think, the advice that I would give anyone is that, just own it, because when you own it and you accept who you are, it doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can't help it anyways. Like it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. Like
I think in life, the sooner you become okay with failing in anything or not looking the way that you think you need to look, not being 100%, the sooner that you come to grips with being okay with that, I think just the better you're going to do. You're going to have less anxiety about it. You're going to be more natural. And it's so okay. You're human. It's so okay to make mistakes. And in your case, I think it makes it more endearing to people. It's part of your character. I mean, you're well loved within our industry. Everybody that knows you knows this piece of you. And it's just part of your character. And so, dude, I love you. Thanks for talking about this and getting vulnerable in front of everybody on our first podcast. This isn't exactly about Let's Make Millions, but in many ways it is, right? It's about persevering through adversity. Everybody's got things and hurdles and fears that you got to get through in order to become successful and take chances. And you've taken a big chance by putting yourself into the business world and being on a podcast with a stutter. So that's awesome. But, we're going to wrap today by saying that we are going to make a donation from Cannella Media, our company, with Frank, and we're going to make a donation to the National Stuttering Association, which has been in business for 45 years, and we're going to make a donation on your behalf.
Thank you.
And we're also going to reach out to them. We've talked about this a little bit to try and get you in front of some people, but middle-aged people, older people, young people,
love
especially
that.
the youth, to say, look, this is what I dealt with. I was bullied. I overcame a lot of adversity, and now I'm a very cool podcast surfing, dog owning, direct-to-consumer
Stuttering.
marketing, let's make millions, dude. And,
It's awesome.
So love you, man. Thanks for talking about it.
Thanks, Sid.